25 years, actor extraordinary than GC champs on the SSA of champion of the world. Mr. JP Wolf, how you doing, buddy?
Oh man, I'm doing good. My sinuses are acting a fool, but I'm ready to do this. How are you doing today?
Fantastic, because today our feature presentation is a movie that I might be the only person in the world that likes it. Don't care. It is 2018 Robin Hood.
I gotta say before we jumped in, I hated this movie.
I thought you might. I'm sorry. God, I love it. I don't know what it is. I just love it so much. I was in. Maybe it's just my love for Taron Egerton that I'll watch him do anything.
Well, he's awesome. He's awesome. I'm a big fan of his.
It's ridiculous. For whatever reason, I was just in when the first time I saw it on the premise. Like I accepted that it was all stupid and ridiculous, and I just didn't care. I was just along for the ride.
Yeah. Well, like, I love the story of Robin Hood, and, you know, we grew up on the, everything I do it for you.
Oh, he takes Custer to the woodshed.
Yeah, yeah. And then they did, what was Russell Crowe and Ridley Scott did a Robin Hood movie in, like, 2010, which I never saw, but heard was trash.
Yeah. I mean, I don't care about the whole Robin Hood story. Like, that doesn't do anything for me. I don't give a shit. So I was all on board for this just fuckfest.
Exactly.
But before we get into that, what have you been watching, reading, seeing, doing this week?
Oh man, Last of Us. This most recent episode that has had Republicans and conservative nerds ablaze on the internet, but fuck them.
Wow. Oh no, a gay relationship. Oh my stars.
Oh my stars. I'm clutching my pearls. But it's like, guys, you know, some person I know on Facebook posted some shitty Ben Shapiro thing, which of course Ben Shapiro is the biggest incel awful person on the planet.
Little douchebag.
Yeah. And he was like, whoa, this is a zombie show and there's no zombies in it, but just two gay dudes. Really, man? It's
a drama that just happens to be set in the post-apocalyptic world. Like,
yeah,
it's about characters. What are you talking about, you fucking loser?
I know. It's just terrible. But
speaking of, I got into it with Britt McHenry the other day.
Oh, Twitter. Really?
Yeah. You can check that out on my personal. Yeah, she's so stupid. She wants to do all that conservative stuff, and she's just bad at it. She's dumb. Yeah. I worked her. Anyways.
But Last of Us. So I watched the first three episodes by myself, and then Haley decided that she wanted to watch it. I basically was like, let's watch it. I think you'd really like it. Dude, go back. Maybe wait till the end of the season and then go back and watch them again, because they drop all kinds of little hints throughout the first episode. Like, Frank and Bill are mentioned in the first episode.
Yeah.
It's really awesome, the storytelling that they're doing, and these little nuggets.
Because they're doing the thing, they're just doing the story from the game, but then that they change are for the better. Like, you can change stuff, just it better not suck, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And it's so good. But really, that's kind of the big thing on my radar this week. What about you? What have you been watching, reading, seeing, doing this week?
Same. Also, Bad Batch, still great. Really enjoying the season. I think it's better than the first. And then I've been playing Red Dead Redemption 2 online, the online version.
Oh, how was that?
I love it. It's just
nice.
I was like, I want to play Red Dead Redemption again. And I actually first got on, I wanted to play the original because I've never played the first one.
Sure,
or not the original. I think the first one was like Red Dead Revolver or something, but it wasn't. It was they got third-person shooter. So I wanted to play the first Redemption, and it just isn't on the PlayStation Store. They took it off a while, like in 2022 for some reason, and it's just not there. And I was like, I need my horse fix. I need my cowboy fix. So I was like, fuck it. It's like $20. Screw it. I'll do it. And it's just the same. And I'm having a blast. It's so much fun.
I never finished Red Dead 2. I need to at some point. I really, really loved it.
Yeah, I loved it too. I mean, I had it on Xbox, and like I think I know where my Xbox is, but I don't want to hook it up. I was like contemplating just getting it for the PlayStation to play it again, and I was like, no, I should do this other new one and give it a shot for $20, and it's worth it. I mean, it's mostly you just do it on your own. It's basically just the game again, but you can also do missions with like matches you up with other people.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, which I don't know. I don't know if I feel about that. I've been trying to get our good friend Jimmy from home. He played Red Dead at the same time I did, like a couple years ago, and I've been trying to get back on it. I'm like, we can go do missions together. Come on, let's go have some fun. Let's go ride some.
That sounds like a fucking blast.
Yeah, that I think would be fun to play with, like those missions to play with people you know, but I don't care about it. But yeah, that's taking up some time, and it's a lot of fun. I highly recommend it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's about all I got. I kind of want to get into this. You want to do it?
Let's do it.
Let's get into our feature presentation.
And now, our feature presentation.
Robin Hood from 2018, a 15% from the critics on Rotten Tomatoes, a 40% from the audience, directed by Otto Bathurst, starring Taron Egerton as Robin Hood, Jamie Foxx as Little John, Mendy Mendelsohn as the Sheriff of Nottingham, Eve Hewson as Maid Mariam, Jamie Dornan as Will Scarlet, and F. Murray Abraham as the Cardinal.
I mean, great cast.
Incredible cast.
Great cast. Ben Mendelsohn. He's such a great actor. I think, unfortunately, he's gotten kind of typecast into that villain role. He plays the villain a lot.
At it.
He is so good at it. He plays such a slimy, just creep, awful person in it.
Yeah. Oh God, I love this movie, and I love the audacity of it at the end. They were so setting this up for more. Like they're just like,
yeah, they were.
I love a movie that's just like, yeah, don't worry about it. We're coming back.
Like we're coming back.
Yeah, don't worry, we're making a bunch of these. Don't even fret.
Psych. Almost 5 years later, no movie.
I love this movie so much. It's like it's filmed and shot like the action scenes are basically like modern warfare, like with like real guns and artillery and everything, but with bows and arrows and like rocks and stuff, and it's ridiculous, and I loved every second of it.
Oh yeah, it's just man, it just made me so upset, and I was just like going, you know, like he's standing in front of a stone pillar, and people are shooting arrows at it, and the pillar is exploding like 50 caliber rounds are hitting.
In fairness, that was a crossbow machine gun, which was awesome, and it was shooting like metal bolts instead of wooden arrows. So
that's true.
In fairness, they're shooting like railroad spikes at him, which I mean is equally ridiculous. But that was why, yeah. And I will defend this one because I fucking love it.
Yeah.
I mean, the action was great. I mean, I guess if you don't buy into the premise, it would just be annoying. But I was in, so I loved all of it. Like
I think the big thing for me is from the wardrobe to the lingo to the dialogue to the warfare. They just tried to make it, you know, like contemporize it.
Yeah.
And it just didn't land for me because I'm just like, I don't even know what year you would consider this, the 1700s, the 1600s, somewhere in there. But if you're going to do that, do that. Just
yeah, I mean, like half the people were doing like English accents, and some people were just like, "Fuck it, I'm just doing my American accent."
Yeah.
We're all over the place with that. I like the idea of like kind of making it more modernized but in that time. Like I think that's a cool action idea to update it for the times. And I think they did that part really well. That part I'll defend till the end, but I can get why some of the other stuff it's like what?
It's like when they're at the bar. I mean, spoiler alert or whatever. When they're at the party and they're like playing fucking like craps.
Yeah, it was like Eyes Wide Shut with like a casino theme, but it was like a church party. I mean, this movie was also kind of trying to say a lot too.
That's true. Yeah.
And a lot of the things I agree with. I may not have been good at it, but like
yeah.
All right, we'll get to it.
Let's do it.
We kick off with some sweet voiceover. A bit of kind of like, oh, you think you know Robin Hood? Well, this isn't your granddaddy's Robin Hood,
Oh God!
Right away.
Yeah.
So, and then we get Robin. He catches like a horse thief. It's a beautiful woman, Maid Marian, of course. They just like immediately fall in love, and with a little montage. Over a lot of voiceover in this that probably wasn't needed.
Whose voice even is that? Is that Friar Tuck's voice?
Yeah, it's Friar Tuck. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I think he's mainly the one that does it, but there was more VO than was necessary. I'm guessing that's usually a thing they put in after the fact when they show it to people and they're like, I don't get it. So it was a little too much of that, but whatever, fine. Then Robin gets a letter in the mail. He's been drafted by order of the sheriff of Nottingham. He's going to war. He's going to be a crusader, essentially.
Yeah, I mean, isn't he rich? Can't he just like buy his way out of it, like rich people have done throughout all this time?
Yeah, I mean, he's a lord. I think that was the whole thing. Was he was trying to send him away. He was sending away people like him, so then he could like confiscate their land and riches because he's all about getting money and stuff.
Oh, right.
We kind of touch on that later. Too, but so yeah, he's going to war. Then we get the 4 years later, and I mean I get anyone who has a problem with this, but I just love the way that they're almost dressed in like current day military fatigues and like corners like you would with a M4 or an M16 or something, but they've just got bows and arrows, and it's so great.
It's so ridiculous. I'm just like, come on. And then he's got the with the crossbow.
Yeah, they're immediately in the thick of it, like pinned down by this crossbow machine gun, which is insane. I don't think anything like that ever existed, but I was all on board. Loved it. His whole like platoon's pinned down. Robin and another dude go to take out the machine gun guy. He does his job, but his little mate gets captured. The rest of his crew go pursue, find him like strung up, but it's a trap. And it's like out in the open.
They've got the drop on him.
Yeah, they get wrecked pretty quick. And then they call in essentially artillery, which is just a bunch of big rocks from like trebuchets.
We gotta get out of here. The stone throwers are coming.
It's so good. I loved it. Yeah, a bunch of big rocks come everywhere. Whatever. They basically go to retreat, even though he's the good guy. He wants to save his other little buddy. And then he gets in like a alleyway fight with Little John, who's just like a badass. And he basically gets his ass kicked. He's like getting choked out.
He like chokes him out with his own scarf or something.
Yeah, but he's saved by one of the other guys in his group, who cuts off Little John's hand. Pretty brutal. After this, they go back to their like base camp, and it's just a mess. There's prisoners everywhere, and they're just like willy-nilly executing them. Like really brutal and gross.
Yeah, it's awful. I wrote oof in my notes because it's just left and right killing guys, cutting their heads off.
Yeah, and I mean it's supposed to be, but Robin's just like, what the fuck? Like this isn't okay. Like we shouldn't be doing this. And like the next guy up on the chopping block just happens to be Little John's son. I guess they captured both of them or whatever. And he's like freaking out. He's like, I'll give you anything. I'll tell you all the information, but he doesn't have any information. So they're just going to kill him. Robin interjects. He like stops the sword from going down, but it doesn't really do anything. He just gets his ass kicked and shot with an arrow, and they kill him anyways.
Yeah, it didn't really go out well.
Yeah, they're like, well, we should like hang you for treason, but you're a lord, so we're just gonna send you back home. It's like, sweet.
All right, I guess.
But Little John, he escapes like in all the chaos. So they send Robin home on a boat. John stows away. This one, I'll get to it, but once Robin gets home, he goes back to like his manor, and it's basically all wrecked.
It's all wrecked. It looks like it's been vacant for 100 years.
It looks like a flop house. Like,
yeah, exactly.
It's like somewhere you go to shoot up. So yeah, it's all wrecked. Marion's not there anymore. He goes to see his buddy. I guess he's friends with Friar Tuck. He goes to like confessional, and he's like, "Oh, bro, we thought you were dead because sheriff told everyone you were dead." He's like, "Well, I'm not." Yeah. Tuck tells him like Marion got taken away like into the mines or something. She's with all like the common folk.
Yeah, that's where they all got taken from the town or something.
Yeah. So he goes to find her. Comes across her before he can say anything. She's having some kisses with Jamie Dornan, Will Scarlet. He's like, I'm gonna leave.
Oh shit.
Yeah. He goes to have a little throw up. I did like that he just went and puked after he saw it.
I mean, yeah, because it's just such a
So
punch in the
upsetting.
gut. He's lost everything.
Yeah, like I've been upset enough where it's like I'm gonna throw up now.
Yeah. Oh, same.
Like it makes you sick to
Same.
your stomach. Then Little John shows up. This whole thing is weird. Like he's just basically like, "Hey, let's eat the rich together" or something. Like,
Yeah, this scene is ridiculous because I think Jamie Foxx is such a great actor, but he's hamming it up. This is what we have to do.
Yeah.
We have to get the rich. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing, dude?
Yeah, it's not great dialogue. It's just basically a way to get him to train Robin to like because he should have no stake in this. He doesn't
Right.
And
Yeah, what the fuck does he care?
Yeah, they try to play it off like, oh, he's like, I see this happen everywhere, and like I've been in all these wars, and like this, the only thing they understand is money. So like, let's take that from them. But he doesn't give a shit about what happens. This is his enemy. Like I get why he wants to help Robin because he's like, I tried to help your son. He's like, yeah, and I failed. He's like, yeah, but you tried. He's like, you actually did something where no one else would have. So I get like having a little, like not debt, but like why he likes him.
Right. Respect.
Yeah, like I get that, but yeah, the rest of the reasoning doesn't really make any sense. I can admit that.
It's like, why the fuck do you care? Why are you coming back to England where everybody hates you and they're fighting against you in a war? And
they didn't really play it up this way, but it would have probably made more sense if it was like he wanted to get revenge on the people who sent all the soldiers to like where he lived and killing everybody.
Yeah,
they don't really. Yeah. They don't though. They don't really play that up. That seems like a lot easier. Like I want to get my revenge, and like you obviously probably do too. So let's team up. Whatever.
Okay.
They didn't do that.
Yeah, they definitely didn't do that.
Yeah. So whatever. They hate the rich, I guess. Then we get the sheriff, Big Ben Mendy. He's giving his best like MAGA speech to all the poor people, just like instilling fear of like immigrants and scaring the poor, and just basically doing a lot of stuff we've seen.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, I was like, oh, wow, one thing is that that was gonna happen.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Brutal. The one good thing I will say about this movie is that with Taron Egerton and Ben Mendelsohn, they're such great actors is that they can make bad dialogue sound good.
Yeah. I mean, they both do the best anyone could with what they're given. I think they're both
totally.
Then Friar Tuck just in front of everyone, he's like, hey, you know that Robin, like, because they're gonna vote on something and all the lords get a vote. And he's like, we gotta wait for the the whatever vote. And he's like, yeah, we letting Ghost vote? And he's like, nah, he's alive.
He's like, he was seen today by who? You? I can't tell you. It's confidential. With the confession, and he's like, so you saw him today? Like, dude,
Yeah,
you just
he's
fucked
just
yourself
like,
here, buddy. Oh shit.
So yeah, everyone knows now. And then Robin, he's all mad. Little John is like, hey, let's rob this dickhead.
So Robin Hood is basically Batman here, right? He's a rich dude who is kind of plays it up during the day, and then at night he
persona because he's supposed to play the part, and then at night then he goes off and fights crime essentially. Yep. Yeah,
Taron Egerton for new Batman.
I mean, I've heard some things about him possibly being the new Wolverine, and I've
heard that too. I'm here for that too. He's really good. I bet he'd kill it.
Oh yeah, I mean, good in anything, but that's one they can't miss on, and he wouldn't miss.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they start coming up with a plan. And like we just said, by day he's a Lord Fuck Pants, and by night he's stealing money.
Lord Fuck Pants.
So then Marion shows up to his little burnt out house, and John's just like, you can't, no fraternizing, So she leaves. He doesn't say anything. He just goes in as a sulk and then chugs some booze.
I didn't cross an ocean to see you crawl into a bottle.
Yeah. And I had to shakes him out of it real quick. They just start training. I love the training. I think it's so good. Like his bow work, I wonder how long that took to get that good and fluid. So I think that's part of it.
Yeah.
Smooth with all his actions. I think that's why I bought in. It just worked for me. He's so smooth and so effortless.
Yeah.
Everything kind of was that aspect of it was in the realm of reality. It was like, oh, he's actually doing this. I'm sure there's a lot of CGI stuff, but still. So he excuse me. So I very much enjoy him Robin shooting at Little John. He's just swatting the arrows away with his cane. So good.
He's a badass.
Yeah.
His character is a badass.
Yeah. And he gives Robin his bow because it's better, I guess. Does some teaching. Good little training montage in our faces. They do their first mission. It's to rob the toll bridge, and then their plan is then you're gonna take that money and donate it to the sheriff so you can get in good with him. It's funny because during the training montage, it's they're talking. You got to be stealthy and this and that. His first mission, he just walks in, rolls up, arrows blazing. There's no stealth. He just walks up to the dudes and starts peppering them with arrows. It's amazing.
He gives no fucks.
Yeah, he just walks in and starts bulldozing. Steals the gold, easy. Next day, gives it to the sheriff, plays real nice. And Marion finds him. It's really awkward. They actually had pretty good chemistry, even though we didn't see a lot of it.
Yeah, she was okay. She was okay.
Yeah, she just was doing an American accent, though. I thought she was good, but she was one of the ones that was just I'm not even gonna try.
Yeah, her accent just went in and out, and then after a while, it was just
yeah,
nothing.
Whatever. It was this doesn't matter. So Robin then goes to steal all the money that he right before she yelled at him, he was pouring out gold coins in the church coffers, just shaming everybody. So then he just immediately goes and steals it back, pretty much.
Yeah, he's just making a big show, which I do appreciate that too, because he's making a big show and he's basically just getting them off his trail. He's going to give as much money and donate as much money, get in the good graces of the sheriff and all the other rich people, so then he can fuck with them.
Exactly. I like how he was shooting out the candles. So unnecessary. Well, I loved it.
Yeah.
After he steals all that, he leaves a big bag of gold at Marion's little shack. Tuck, he then goes and tells the sheriff about all like the robberies. The sheriff's like, hey, use that confessional thing to tell me what's going on. He's like, that's not okay. He's like, yeah, I don't give a shit. So, Robin then is being kind of a creep, just like watching Marion from afar.
Yeah. He's a medieval Punisher and a peeping Tom.
Yeah, a little bit. And he like sees Marion meet with Friar Tuck, and they're like kind of plotting their own thing. They got their own little scheme going on. And she mentioned something about like she's not on board with the Hood at the moment. She's like, he needs to give the money to the people. Like, don't give it to me. So he's like, oh, that's what I'm gonna do. He does some more robberies and just starts like throwing coins at people, just whipping it all over the place, giving it to the people. They start getting on his side. They're all happy and whatever, like putting hoods up on doors. I don't know. I don't really understand the point of that, but whatever.
Yeah, I guess it's like graffiti in a way, but
yeah, I mean, I guess it's just showing their support. Yeah, and Lord Robin attends like an Illuminati meeting or something.
Yeah, it's all the rich white dudes of the city.
Yeah, and to throw him off again, he's like, "We should put a bounty on him." They're like, "Where are we gonna get that money?" He's like, "Oh, I'll do it." It's like, I'll give you all this money and put a bounty on myself, essentially. So of course Mendelsohn loves that. Yeah.
Question: if his property was seized, how does he have access to all this money?
Yeah, no one seems to be concerned about that. I was thinking about that as well. I don't know. You could always. They don't even make an effort to explain, like, even like one line. But you could always be like, he had it like buried in this place, stashed somewhere.
Yeah,
no one could find it, or I don't know. They didn't do that.
Yeah, they were just like, yeah, don't worry about it.
Yeah, fine, don't care.
Yeah.
So then so the sheriff, he's liking him more, and he has some one-on-one time with him and tells him a weird story about like child abuse. I didn't really understand.
Yeah, getting beat with broomsticks and brandy.
There's no real reason for that other than like to give Mendelsohn an opportunity to choose some scenery. He could just do his Mendelsohn thing, which I love.
I mean, he's great. He's awesome.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Sure.
Then Robin's like, I want a seat at the big boy table, whatever that means. I guess it's a bigger table than this. I don't know. They're never real clear on it, but I don't care. Then after this meeting, Robin tells John he wants to hit the treasury.
Yeah,
like
big Benny.
It's like none of these nickel and dime crap. Let's hit the big boy. So they Trojan horse that shit. Doesn't really go well because they're not bringing the money where they thought they were, and he gets like trapped in this. I don't know what it is, but he has a huge fight and it's awesome.
Yeah, it's like kind of
it's just circular, like with a pit. Like I don't really know how to describe it best, but it's fantastic set piece. I mean, the action, I don't care. The action's great in this. It's so good.
The jump shots are always pretty dope.
So good. Like slow motion, like jump. So, yeah, he doesn't end up stealing any money. He just barely like gets out. He gets shot a little bit too. He escapes, and John has like a little cart he jumps into, I guess. And they're riding away, and he's like, I didn't get anything. He didn't get a coin. He's like, yeah, but we got their attention. I guess they're happy about that. I don't know.
Okay, sure. But where's the money?
Yeah, they seem happy about that. Okay. So church is they're big mad. People are stealing from them. So they're sending a big wig. The cardinal is coming to Nottingham.
Right.
Abraham.
F. Murray Abraham making a fucking comeback.
Oh, I love F. Murray. He's in the first couple seasons of Mythic Quest too.
Oh, nice.
I don't know why he's not in the third, but he was in the first two. I don't know what happened.
I think because he was maybe shooting the White Lotus.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know what it was. Anyways, so yeah, sheriff, he's not happy about all this. Brings in some like mercenaries or something to stop Robin, and of course it's his, I guess his commanding officer or something from the war. So that was like all cool with executing everybody.
Yeah, and that actually ended up saving Robin from John.
Yeah, so he's not like he's doing bad things. He was essentially just following. He was just all about the cause and following orders.
Serving God's will.
Yeah, that's the whole Crusader thing. He was just brainwashed essentially. So yeah, now the big boys are after him, and Tuck and Marion, they're scheming on the side still. They steal some documents or something.
I missed that part.
Yeah, because that's why, and something goes wrong. I wasn't paying super close attention at this point. But there's like they steal all these documents while there's this big party for the Cardinal. It's like an eyes wide shut, like gambling. I don't know.
Yeah, and they're all wearing contemporary. They're wearing like fucking fur coats and
yeah, it was just to show the excess and like and how the church is corrupt and this and that, which I'm on board with.
It reminded me of Hunger Games, like the look from the city of Hunger Games.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good call. So yeah, they try to steal these whatevers, and I guess someone sort of alerted to it because, I think he does this to save Marion, but Robin grabs Friar Tuck and he's like, "Hey, you trust me?" He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "All right, well, I'm gonna do some shit." So like, he like brings him in front of the Cardinal and the sheriff and a bunch of other people or some whatevers, and he's like, "Hey, I got the traitor or something." As a cover. And it does not go super well. They're just about to execute him. He's just shitting himself. I love that. He's like, "Oh fuck."
Oh, I fucked up.
Yeah, and then he's thinking on his feet. He's like, he takes the knife. He's like, "Oh no, if you kill him, he'll be a martyr to the people. So let's just excommunicate him because that'll hurt more than dying." Something. Good move. Mendelsohn, he's on all board. He's like, "Yeah, that makes sense."
Excommunicado.
Yep. Just like John Wick. So this gets him a seat at the big table, whatever that means.
The big boy table. It's what's that college football movie with James Caan where they all want to have a seat at the table?
The Program.
Yeah, that's it. I just always remember. Yeah, starting defense. Place at the table.
So that's when there's this huge other plan. Like the reason that the sheriff and the Cardinal are trying to get all this money is they've been funding their enemies in the Middle East that they've been fighting on the Crusades, because their whole plan is to take over. They're gonna take over, like usurp the crown and take over.
Right.
Yeah, I don't really understand how all that works, but sure. And so, excuse me. So the sheriff just sends a bunch of troops like to the mines because they need a bunch of money for whatever the last phase of their plan is. I don't know. Again, they need a MacGuffin to stop, and that's what it is. They need a bunch of money, so they send a bunch of troops to the mines and like basically just take shit from him and rough him up and get more money that he needs. Marion and Will have a little fight. He may not be as righteous as he seems. Cracks are showing.
Yeah, he's exactly. Cracks are showing.
Yeah. And then the troops move in. They're being real pricks. Marion tries to stop them. Doesn't go well. It's knocked out, captured, thrown in like a trunk on a wagon or something.
Yeah, some kind of like carriage or
I don't know. It's a horse-drawn something. He's all walked away. But luckily, Robin and John, they show up. As she's getting taken away, they attack, rescue her. Big fight. She figures out like immediately who Robin is.
Yeah, Rob, how'd you know? Oh, seriously, dude?
Yeah. He's like, well, fooled everybody else. I kind of enjoyed that.
Yeah. He kind of hit the nail on the head there.
That's good. So now she knows, and they're being pursued on this wagon by a bunch of goons. He like gets his own horse, rides off to get him away, but then immediately comes back doing like a zip line onto their wagon.
Yeah, and there's like a molten lead river.
So much is happening here. Like, there's a lot going on.
There's a rooftop horse chase, and then there's slow motion, and
it all looks good too. Like, this director's good at filming action. Then he gets back on the wagon, and it just promptly explodes. Then I don't know, someone shot something that blew up at it.
Yeah, like some kind of exploding arrow or something. You know, Green Arrow or Hawkeye, where
right?
Not Hawkeye, Green Arrow was around the corner or something.
Yeah, it wasn't a boxing glove arrow; it was an explosive one. And so yeah, it blows up. They get knocked off. Everyone's just fine because, of course, they are. John then does like a little sacrifice, you know, so they get away. He just goes and fights a bunch of people until he gets captured. The Marion and Rob get away, but Robin's like, "Oh, fuck this, I'm done." this is too much, man.
He gave up real quick.
Yeah, and Marion just gives him a little pep talk, and then he's fine. He's ready to go back at it. Then Mandy interrogates little John. I don't really understand any of the point of this other than just watching two good actors say things that didn't matter to each other.
Yeah, they're like questioning each other's faith and talking about God and
yeah, I don't know, whatever, doesn't matter.
Sure.
Robin then gets in front of all the poor people, like a big crowd, and shows his face, you know. And Will, he's being a real prick about it.
He's being a real prick at this point.
Yeah, he's just like, whatever. Like, yeah, okay, this rich guy comes down and like, we're supposed to whatever. And Mary's just like, shut the fuck up, bro.
Let him talk.
Yeah,
let him talk.
Just shuts his ass up real quick. Robin gives a little speech, rallies the people. And they go they go see Friar Tuck and get some evidence, I guess. I don't know.
Sure.
A bunch of money is moving to the Cardinal, and they need to stop it. That's like the next thing. Reasons.
Yeah, the church's money, just like a big cache of money or something.
And they all have a big meeting at Robin's shitty little manor, formulate a plan. We get another montage of all the commoners doing shit for the plan, setting up all whatever they're doing. After this, it all starts in motion. There's starts with like a big riot of the poor people and some of the soldiers. While this is just like a distraction, I guess.
Yeah, it sounds very much like the Hans Zimmer music from the opening scene of The Dark Knight. It sounds just very. It reminded me of that. Just what he was trying to do. It's almost like he kind of directly lifted that from Nolan.
Probably. So while this distraction's going, they're underground or something, and like I guess that's how they're getting the money away. I don't know. They're putting in like boats and stuff. They're stealing it. I guess doesn't matter.
Sure.
Yeah. It's fine. Robin then gets shot. Again, he gets shot a lot, and he's like usually pretty much fine right after.
Yeah, he gets shot in the chest, he gets shot in the gut, and then they just promptly pull the arrow out and just throw some, fucking gauze on there or a ripped t-shirt on there.
He's basically like a dog when a dog gets hurt. It's the worst thing ever for like 30 seconds, but then they're fine. like their legs gonna fall off, and then they're just totally fine. That's basically his injuries, how they work. After he gets shot, him and Marion, they do some kisses. And conveniently, Will just happens to see them.
Of course, because he comes around the corner or something and sees them.
Whatever, fine. Sure. The main guy then attacks, and he gets subdued by Robin, and he's like, "Kill me." He's like, "Nah, man. Like, you saved my life before. I'm not gonna kill you." but man, she doesn't give a shit. She just clocks his ass.
He had it coming.
I don't know. Yeah, fine, sure. They get all the money out. Robin goes. He's like, hey, we gotta go back for the rest of them. I don't really know exactly who he's going back for, but then Will tells Marion, like, they go back and they find Will, and he's like, I saw you too. Fuck off. Like, you can have her. Like, okay.
And at that point, he dropped the Molotov cocktail he had, and it got fire all over his face and burned half of his face. So he's two-faced now.
Yeah, so he's a bad guy now because his face is scarred. Then Robin has some PTSD flashbacks to like the war.
Yeah.
And then just decides to give a giant speech during this fight. Everybody, he's like, hey, stop. Then everyone stops.
And then he's just giving up, and he's just like, I'm turning myself in. Can we stop fighting? Stop fighting!
Why is everybody so angry? I kind of was okay with that. He just doesn't want anyone else to die. You know. So yeah, he gets captured. Meets with the sheriff. Tells him he threatens him a lot. Says he's gonna boil him in his own piss, which I enjoyed.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, real graphic. I didn't completely understand what was going on. There's like 3 guards there, and somehow Little John was one of them, I guess. I don't really.
Yeah, he had escaped somehow, but then he escaped to their armory and got a bunch of their armor. I don't know.
Yeah, I figured something like that happened. I just didn't see it, or it didn't, and it didn't matter. But yeah, he saves the day, and they then hang the sheriff. You bastards! I'm the sheriff of Nottingham. Not anymore. Yeah.
Bye, bitch.
Yeah, so he's big dead, I guess. They all meet up in the forest, do some more kisses. They got all this money. It's basically the regular story of Robin Hood and his merry men. They're all off in the woods about to do their thing. This was basically like a prequel to that.
Yeah.
Essentially. So yeah, they're all off, and then Will, he meets with the cardinal, and he makes him the new sheriff. He's just real bad now.
Big bad.
Totally cool with it. He gives a speech just like Mendelsohn did at the beginning to a crowd of people. Wants Robin dead. I did enjoy the like spattering of applause. They're just like they were really on board.
You're like, oh fuck. All right. One creep for another creep.
Yeah, exactly. He wants Robin dead. He's got this big wanted poster. Robin shows up, shoots the poster out of his hand, and credits.
Yeah.
I love this movie. I love it so much.
Well, there wasn't a ton of trivia on this movie, but I have a little bit if you want to hear it.
Yeah, this is some trivia.
YouTube sensation Lars Anderson of Denmark was hired to teach the cast archery. Lars Anderson is famous for creating a YouTube video where he demonstrates extraordinary archery skills, earning him the nickname Real Life Legolas. Most notably, Lars is able to hit incoming arrows in flight and shoot and hit 3 marks while performing a single jump from the ground. To increase his speed, he uses an ancient technique that requires him to shoot with his draw and not cross the arrow on the bow like modern archers do. This technique is used by Robin in the film.
Yeah, that makes sense because say what you will about the rest of this movie, but the archery stuff was on point and it looked really
it did look really good. You could tell that they really practiced and did their homework.
I was wondering how they learned that, so that's fantastic to know because I was curious. That's a good one.
Yeah. Taron Egerton is so afraid of horse riding that he did not ride a horse in this film. Not in any single scene, he stated in an interview later.
Yeah, his character was barely on horses, and when it was, he had the mask on. So yeah.
Yeah. Released 110 years after the first Robin Hood film, Robin Hood and His Merry Men from 1908.
Oh wow.
Jeez, yeah.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah, I saw 110 Years and I went, the first film, holy shit. But I guess that's, I mean.
Yeah, I mean, I knew the story was old, but film, that's wild.
Yeah. Nicholas Hoult auditioned for Robin Hood before the role went to Taron Egerton.
I have a feeling I would not have liked this movie as much without Taron Egerton.
He's so goddamn likable.
So much. I just love him so much.
And last but not least, the body count was a lot. I couldn't find it though, but
yeah, it had to be a lot.
In an interview with Variety, Taron Egerton gave some pretty scathing critiques of the film, hinting that the final product is nothing like the original script. Quote, "It was absolutely not the movie that I signed up to make. It was pitched to me in a different way. I think it was made by committee, and I think it lost its vision. I wasn't very happy on set. I didn't have a very happy time making it."
I could believe that.
Yeah,
I can believe that for sure. Oh man, I want to know like what it was supposed to be.
Yeah. I mean, maybe what they wanted the original, that King Arthur movie with Charlie Hunnam to be, that ended up turning into a giant shit show too.
Yeah. If I ever have the chance to meet him or interview him, I will definitely be asking about this and nothing else, probably.
It's cool though, because normally in the past, movie stars had to be not so candid with how they felt about things, but nowadays they're just like, no, I fucking hated it. It was awful. I didn't like it. Didn't have fun. Fuck that.
I mean, if the movie's already bombed, there's nothing. Doesn't matter. You might as well tell the truth.
Yeah. But that's it for the trivia.
Yeah. Oh man, I love this movie.
Yeah, I could see how you liked it. It's just maybe I'm just tired, but I was just watching it and I was just like, ugh, this motherfucking movie.
Yeah, the first time I saw it, I was in the perfect mood for this movie.
Sure.
And that's then now anytime. I was actually kind of worried to watch it again because I hadn't seen it since and I knew how much I loved it. And I was a little worried that maybe it was just because of the mood I was in. I still loved it. And I think that's part of from my first viewing. It's in a weird way, a little nostalgia.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, I get it. You're not in the right mood. If you're tired, this would not be a movie for you because it's just relentless and there's so much going on. And the best part about it is the action. But if you're not like feeling great, you're not going to be able to enjoy that. That's almost going to be like headache inducing and annoying.
Right. Yeah.
It was just your face.
But we do have another great movie coming up next week. Which one are we doing?
Oh, coming up next week with a little Quantum Mania hitting theaters the following Thursday, Friday, whatever. We will be going back to the one that started it, Ant-Man.
Man, I haven't seen this since it came out, and it's on Disney Plus. I fucking love Paul Rudd, and I can't wait to watch this again.
This one's crazy because it was an Edgar Wright movie, and they removed him like into the process.
Oh, far into the process, because this movie was pitched in 2008 with the original Iron Man. It was just
that's the thing. Once Iron Man came out, they were like, oh, this is what we're doing. This is the formula. I think they pitched it to Edgar Wright is you can just do whatever you want because we don't know what this is yet. But then once that hit, it's like, oh, this is what this is. So before that, and he was like, no, Edgar Wright. I'm going to make an Edgar Wright movie. I'm not going to make John Favreau. I'm not John Favreau. Like that's not what I'm going to do.
Exactly.
Like they're different filmmakers. They're both very good filmmakers, but wildly different in what they do. It is interesting to see the little things that are still there. One that always
100%.
Like when they're talking about like the quick cuts of how they got to the heist, with what's his name?
Michael Pena.
Yes, Michael Pena going through everything really quick and fast, and that's a very Edgar Wright,
Oh yeah.
And it's funny. It reminds me of because then they try to do that in the next one, and it's fine, but it's just it's not the same. And it reminded me of the news broadcasts in RoboCop and RoboCop 2. Like, the one in
sure.
RoboCop is Verhoeven, so it's amazing. The 1 and 2 is Irvin Kershner, who's a good director, but he's not Paul Verhoeven, so it's fine, but it's just missing that thing that person that's the greatest at it does. So, anyways, any excuse to mention RoboCop. I always find a way.
Someday we will do that.
Yes, once Nancy comes on, I'm working on it. Why don't you hit us where you can find us?
You can find us at www.actionmoviebookclub.com, or you can hit us up on Twitter at ActionMovieBC or on Instagram at ActionMovieBookClub. Hit us up on there if you have any questions, comments, concerns. Also, if you're more of a visual person, check out YouTube, TikTok, where we're posting a lot of stuff on there. We're posting full episodes on YouTube as well. Give us a like and a subscribe, a 5-star rating and a review on your podcast listening platforms. Anything that'll get us boosted in the algorithm, because we love doing this. We want to get more ears, and anything else. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. And I believe at this point, we'll have 2 episodes of my other show, the Comic Book Club, will be out, and it'll be the whole Spider-Man life story by Chip Zdarsky. It's in 2 parts.
Ooh, yes. Yeah. Listen to that. It is fantastic.
Yeah, that really turned out even better than I would have hoped. So that's just fun.
Great. You guys have such a great rapport, and the comic book itself is so awesome. It made me want to go read the comic too. Check it out. Check it out.
It really is. And I don't talk as much on it, so it's another selling point. But yeah, that's about all I got. You got anything else?
That's it for me, man.
All right, then why don't you take us out?
Happy trails, Hans.
Oh boy, you and piss boy!